G'day, it's Mark here again, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the Falcon XK. That was the first model that was released in Australia, the first Falcon. And that was based on the American Falcon that was launched in 1959 as a 1960 model. The XK Falcon was launched here in Australia in September 1960. In November, the station wagon variant was added. And the Australian station wagon actually had a shorter rear overhang than the American one because there was concern that, spoon drains and some of the driveways and so on that were pretty common around Australia back in the day, the rear end would have scraped on those. So that's why the Australian wagon had a shorter rear end. The utility and the panel van were released in May 1961, so the following year. And, there's no doubt at all the Falcon looked fantastic. It was a really contemporary modern design, certainly far more modern than the equivalent Holden, which was the FB model, which was really, influenced very much by sort of 1950s, late 1950s Chevrolet styling. But what let the Falcon down, and the Falcon was almost plucked, as it were, hence the headline, was some of the gearboxes and particularly the suspension. The suspension really struggled on Australia's rough roads, country roads, potholes, things like that. Unlike in America where, there's a lot of freeway systems, smooth roads. In Australia, we had rough roads and particularly ball joints. There was a lot of failures on the suspension on the early XK Falcons, and that really created a problem. Whereas the car was released as a very sleek and modern vehicle, Australian with the world of difference was the advertising slogan, but it was soon getting a reputation for, being pretty fragile in the suspension department. So ball joints from the compact Fairlane were, fitted as a retrograde or upgrade to beef up the suspension, but, a lot of the damage had been done in terms of the reputation for the car. And then when Holden released its EJ series model, that was also a much more modern-looking car, moving on from the FB, and then, Falcon was up against it from a competition perspective. There was a lot of work that was done by Ford Australia to engineer the car for Australian conditions, a lot of testing that was done, in the outback and around Yuyang's approving grounds and so on, but, it wasn't sufficient. It wasn't sufficient to cope with our conditions. So, again, it really got a reputation. The engines that were available in the XK Falcon included the 144 cubic inch 6-cylinder, and then there was the optional Pursuit engine, which was the 170. And the transmissions available were the 3-speed column shift manual or a 2-speed automatic. And that's the other point, is that Holden didn't offer an automatic with the FB, so that really did broaden the Falcon's appeal at launch. But, those suspension issues certainly did give the car a bit of a reputation. I remember my dad, we had an XK Falcon. I mean, I was very young at the time, so I don't remember the vehicle personally, but we've got some old home movie footage of the old XK Falcon, light grey. It wasn't a deluxe, it was a standard model. But I remember Dad saying, it had nice lines. The Ford had nice lines in comparison to the Holden. He had a Holden before that, and but when he saw the Falcon, he thought, no, that's a good-looking car. And after that, he bought an XL wagon. There's an episode on my channel about an XL wagon as well. So anyway, that's a short history on the XK Falcon, the Falcon that was almost plucked. So thanks again for watching. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, give the episode a thumbs up, a like. That helps the channel. Share it with your friends, and above all, subscribe. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Here is the Australian Falcon. A car of sculptured styling, perfect proportions, a roomy 6-seater with a lively 6-cylinder 90-horsepower engine, splendid all-round vision, and built-in comfort and safety. A car backed by the resources of the worldwide Ford organization. Many years of planning and work, not only overseas but here, have gone into its design, engineering and manufacture. And right from the outset, Ford Australia engineers participated in its development. A car is born. This is the Falcon, the car you've been waiting for. Thousands of technicians contributed to its styling and engineering. Overseas, the car underwent 3 years of testing and 3 million miles of driving before it was accepted for production. Here, it's been subjected to the same exhaustive testing, driven over every type of road in the Commonwealth. Each is built to the same pattern of excellence, designed and engineered to give top performance and satisfaction, built to the highest standards of quality in the Australian automotive industry. But let's have a look at some of the features. First, the boot. Plenty of room. Including the spare wheel, there's 23.7 cubic feet of space. Doors are wide, giving easy access from both sides. Two-tone interior and door trim in a variety of attractive colors. 3-spoke steering wheel with the Ford deep dish safety design and well-laid-out instrument panel. A 90-horsepower 6-cylinder overhead valve engine. And now for a few dimensions. Length, 181.2. Width, 70. Height, 54.5. Wheelbase, 109.5. A car with a proved background and a great future in this country. And there is a station wagon, one specially designed in Australia by Australian engineers for Australian conditions. It's now in production and will be released on the Australian market before the end of the year.